Hello everyone! Magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Welcome back to my channel and a new segment of Magluto Canadian. Today, we are trying our hands on making Maja de Ube. The original recipe of this is called Maja Blanca. However, we're making it a little bit different and we're just gonna do Maja de Ube. For those of you guys who's never heard of this of Maja de Ube or Maja Blanca before, it's a type of dessert that is traditionally made in the Philippines, and it's served during the time of fiesta, any kind of social gathering, but mainly Christmas. And it's one of those desserts that you will see in every household if there's any kind of social gathering happening. And before we start making the dessert, for those of you guys who are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. For those of you guys who have already subscribed in this channel, thank you for always supporting your boy Magluto Canadian. So, what are we waiting for? Magluto Canadian. First off, let's introduce our ingredients for today. First, we have 2 cans worth of coconut cream, 2 cans worth of coconut milk, 1.5 cup of fresh milk, 1 can of condensed milk. We have our 2 cups worth of ube mash. For the dry ingredients, we have 3/4 of cornstarch and 3/4 of sugar, half a cup of water, and half a cup of coconut strings. We're also gonna use, for flavoring, Buko Pandan extract, 1 teaspoon. So, let's get started. So first thing first, we're gonna cook off our latik in our pan. So for those of you guys who's never heard of latik before, it's basically a type of coconut curd. However, it's just toasted. So what happens is, what you get from it is basically when you reduce the coconut cream into its solid and oil form. So solid form basically is left to fry in the coconut oil itself until it's golden brown. So basically it's just a caramelization of the sugar and the sugar content of the coconut itself. And I'll show you what I meant once we get there. So while we're waiting for our toasted coconut curd to finish, we're just gonna start mixing the liquid of the Maja de Ube together. So with this one, we're just gonna mix in the 4 ingredients: the coconut milk, the fresh milk, condensed milk, and the ube mash. With this one, we're gonna have to strain it a little bit because there's quite a bit of strings in the ube mash, and we don't want that there. We just want to make sure it's like smooth, silky when the finished product happens. So in a big bowl, just gonna put our 2 cups worth of ube mash. So as you guys can see, there's quite a bit of string. I'll show you guys what I meant right here. So you see that? You can actually see that in there. So the idea, the idea for today's or this week's video is actually pitched in by Pierre Florendo. So shout out to you, Pierre, for giving me the idea of making a Maja Blanca. However, we are making the ube version of it. So I hope that it's still okay with you. So shout out to you, sir. Thank you for giving me the idea for today's segment. So now that all the strings are separated, as you can see, all that, those basically the strings of the ube. So it's gonna toss that aside. So the product that we're looking for is looking like this. Actually, you guys can see it's very purple. So our coconut curd is actually started to brown a little bit, so we just need to make sure that we're stirring it as much as we can, just so that it doesn't burn and the clumps are actually separated, because you want to make sure that it's like just tiny bit of clumps, not like a large clump. So it's starting to form now, starting to reduce, and the oil is starting to separate. So I'll put that in medium heat and let it just let it reduce into a simmer. So while we're waiting for our latik to finish, we're just gonna heat up our ube Maja de Ube, and then let it simmer. And while it's simmering, we're just gonna mix in our cornstarch and our water together. We just want to make sure that the cornstarch is completely dissolved in the water, and then we're gonna add it once the Maja liquid or Maja de Ube liquid is simmering or boiling. Last thing that I want to add is the sugar. So we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of our Buko Pandan for more Pandan flavor and also Buko flavor. I brought the pan here so I can watch both the Maja de Ube, and as I was saying earlier, it started to solidify. You guys can actually see the coconut oil is actually extracted separately from the curd already. It's starting to curd. It started curdling. So this is what we're looking for in terms of the process of making a coconut curd. We're just gonna let it fry in the oil itself. So we're gonna add our coconut strings, or half a cup of coconut strings. Once it starts boiling, make sure it's mixed in properly in there. And now that it's boiling or simmering, we're gonna add our cornstarch mixture. What you want to do when you're adding cornstarch is you want to make sure that you slowly pour it in while whisking it at the same time. So the reasoning for that is you don't want any sort of clump from the cornstarch in the dessert. So you want to make sure it's mixing properly until it's starts to thicken. I lower down the heat to low, and now it's starting to take its form. Starting to get thickened now. So this is actually done now. It's starting to it's already thickened. So we're gonna pour it into our pan or pie shells. So this is what I was talking about, that it started to golden brown. The curd is starting to fry really well. Once this is actually all fully golden brown, we're gonna separate the curd from the oil. You guys can see. It's looking pretty good. So we're almost there. We're just gonna separate the oil from the latik. Oh man, it's looking really good. So that's the coconut curd or toasted coconut curd. It's not much, but it's very delicious and very coconutty and sweet. So we separated the curd from the oil, and the oil is, we're gonna use it to brush our pan. Now that we brush our pan with the coconut oil, we are gonna pour in our Maja de Ube. So what we're gonna do once this is all poured in, we are gonna let it chill in room temp. So we're just gonna make sure it's smooth out. Just tap it in a little bit just to get a little bit of that air out of there. Now that our Maja de Ube is cooled down, we are gonna cover it with aluminum foil, and we're gonna leave it in the fridge for 1 to 2 hours before serving. So our Maja de Ube just finished chilling. So right now we're just gonna finish it off with glazing it with the remaining coconut oil that we had from the latik earlier, just to give that shine. And after that, topping it off with the coconut curd, or the toasted coconut curd, or in Tagalog, latik. So there you have it, our Maja de Ube. Very excited to make this video, and honestly, I'm very excited for this dessert. It's one of those things that brings so much nostalgia growing up, and for me to be able to bring it here, showcase our heritage, our Filipino cuisine, honestly, it just makes it so much better, especially for me, right? So I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope that everyone is staying safe, being healthy during these times, and happy with family. I hope that everyone is cooking at the moment and enjoying life to the fullest. So this is me saying magluto Canadian, and have a wonderful day. See you all next week.